and futuristic all at once. Just wonderful.
So both teams will be setting up, and it will be that Melty defense to start out the game. So powerful against Fnatic. Will they be able to do it again, Hex?
I have no idea how these teams are going to match up. Like, I hadn't really heard of Eccentric Gaming. Oddly enough, had casted a couple of their players just doing, testing the other day. But man, they have come to play. They have looked just as dominant in their games. Maybe not as dominant as Melty has in their games, but it's not like they're any slouches either. So if anyone can stop them, it's probably going to be Eccentric. Melty, we'll see if anyone can give Melty a game this tournament.
Yep, and Melty, and I don't think this is any variation for what they ran against Fnatic. On defense, they're running Nico on Reaper, Nico being so effective today. D-Gun on Pharah, Moon L on Reinhardt. Bod again on Symmetra. They really like Symmetra on this point. Cabal on Mercy, and Cry W on the Zarya.
And they played the Symmetra really well, in my opinion, as we saw on King's Row, too. Like, they do chip damage, and she's always safe, and she's kind of chipping away, trying to get enough damage, and enough utility up so that she can use her ultimate. Because if you get rolled before the teleporter comes up, what was the point of Symmetra?
Exactly. Symmetra is kind of a gamble, but sometimes it pays off big for teams. What are we seeing on the attacking side?
Attacking Lucio is going to be played by Likely, as always. Lewd is going to be on D.Va, Skipjack on his Reinhardt, Asatari going to play Pharaoh, Nadir on Reaper, and Nevix on Mercy.
Yep. And we're seeing Asatari come out really heavily here, power boosted. Pharah. This is probably the biggest difference between Eccentric's approach and Fnatic's. Fnatic not really that in tune with the power boosted Mercy early on, but they're running that. We have power boosted Pharah versus power boosted Pharah. Asatari versus D-Gun, and the aerial battles have begun. D-Gun getting some air on top of Asatari there, not able to kill him though.
Yes, whilst this aerial battle is going on, the tanks are just pushing the cart, like oblivious to what's going on above them.
Yep, and it's looking like D-Gun will strike first blood against Asatari, cementing himself 1-0 as the Pharah, and let's see what D-Gun does now that the skies have been cleared. D-Gun laying down lots of rockets against that, is able to get the quick pick on Nadir, and lots of poke. Yeah, D-Gun really showing up the Melty defense.
Yeah, Melty grouped up on this right side, and we did see a Death Blossom go down. Not a whole lot of damage done, both Reapers down momentarily.
Yep, and don't discount that. Getting down Nico is a big boon. He has been doing so much for Melty. D-Gun now under a little bit of pressure from the other Pharah combo, but he has Mercy in sights. He's going to be able to take out Nevix. Nevix having the run for cover here. D-Gun, though, just getting taken out by Asatari. Asatari, good job coming over the top, and now we're seeing Eccentric really push forward here. Yeah, the first couple of big picks of the game came down when Mercy went down, and also the Reinhardt went down, but they didn't have the teleporter up. The reinforcement's taking way too long, and during that time, they get through this arch, one of the biggest choke points in the game. Yep, and right now they are showing a little bit more life than Fnatic showed here. Melty having to just reorganize their defense and go back. No, Nico was taken out again, so if Nico down, this might be all Eccentric needs to push forward, but we do have a Mercy res coming down for Melty. Melty not wanting to give up this point. They know that this point is one of the better defense points in the game, and two people down right now for Eccentric. Eccentric trying to hold on here in Nadir with the Death Blossom, and they're still pushing, Hex.
Yeah, the cart is moving, and again, that Mercy's down. Cabal is down yet again. So, that Mercy being down, I've yet to see a teleporter come up. A teleporter is up. It is pretty far back into the left, but if that doesn't get cleared out, it's going to be interesting to see as the spawns move, if they're able to get behind them.
Melty's definitely going to have a better time holding here, although it's kind of interesting that I kind of wonder if Nadir misplayed it. It seemed like Nadir, if he stayed on the point, they would have capped it. He went to go help his team, but I wonder if that was the right call. Meanwhile, we have Nico go. Damage boosted Reaper doing all sorts of damage to that D.Va. And he's going to go for the Death Blossom, is going to take out the Mercy, and I can't imagine D.Va is all that healthy, but doesn't matter. Nico is going to go down. Sort of a one-for-one trade there, but hey, they have a teleporter. Melty is down for that.
Yeah, making trades when you have a teleporter up is always good. Making trades on defense is generally good because you're going to have your defender's advantage to begin with. With a telly up, it does shorten the walk a little bit, so you're okay with trading out players.
Yeah, and we're seeing D-Gun now throwing down those defensive Pharah rockets. You know, again, the mini game this year has been Asatari versus D-Gun, both vying for dominance of the skies, and we're seeing Zarya now. Does not quite have her ult yet, but really a nice angle from D-Gun here. Getting lots of good shots, is going to knock the Reaper down, and that's just smart positioning from D-Gun.
And Zarya is a great tank to be able to hold the front lines too, because she's got her own self-sustain, and she can shield the other heroes that are going to want to be around the front lines.
Yep, and Nico with the switch to McCree, by the way, is able to take out the Pharah. Interesting switch, and we see both teams kind of brawling around the payload here, but Melty holding strong. Multiple people down on Eccentric. I don't know if they're going to be able to push through this right now.
Yeah, all the heroes are up. The teleporter is up again. If she needs to reposition it, her ultimate is ready. The Symmetra play has been just phenomenal. Although Reaper did get in the back line just to kill out the teleporter. Nadir hunting that telly.
And that's a smart move. We haven't seen teams really do that today, but hunting the teleporter is worth. However, one thing to keep in mind is that Symmetra has a much easier time deploying her second teleporter than that, and as we see, she had enough charge for a second teleporter, so Reaper's sacrifice might be in vain.
Huge Reinhardt ult at the front lines here.
Oh man, that Reinhardt ult did do a lot of work, and 4 people are down, but Nevik saying, no, I'm gonna res my entire team, but the follow-up Zarya ult keeping them pinned, and Mercy not wanting to pose this big air barrage coming down from Dagon, and that's, even with the res, that's gonna push Eccentric back.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse, though. You know, the D.Va did negate some of that air barrage that was coming down, so it was bad, but it could have been worse.
But Nadir was actually able to kind of scoot through into the backline, and multiple people from Melty ended up going down to that Death Blossom, and both teams throwing big shots at each other, but that teleporter looking so effective now as Melty's going to be able to reposition. And I'll tell you what, you look at the time, there's only 22 seconds left for Eccentric to get through this point.
Yeah, they had a good push early, they had an opportunity, but this cart is rolling backwards because it was never finished the cap, they never captured the first point. A huge Zarya ult caps everyone!
But a counter Reinhardt ult from Skipjack going to stop them from punishing too much, but another Reinhardt ult and a high noon on top of it. Everyone on Eccentric getting wiped, and that is going to be a very impressive defensive hold on point 1 yet again for Melty. Although they did get routed a little bit more than they did against Fnatic.
Yeah, the Earth Shatter is coming down, the Earth has been broken. Huge Reinhardt ults going back and forth, but that is a phenomenal defense.
And we're just going to take a look at this here, and Reinhardt, you know, that was just right at the end of the game, and what a hammer down. Just everyone getting wiped. Great ult coordination, just solid gameplay from Melty all around.
And you mentioned that one window they had early, they were on the point, it was pushed so far, and then they just were not able to get it to its conclusion, and that might end up really hurting them.
I'll be honest, Hex, I thought they had that. Like, I thought, you know, we might have to look back at the VOD, but I think Reaper actually could have pushed that in. He went to go help his team, but that might not have been the right play. I might be wrong, but I think they did have a window to get that point.
Yeah, as a Reaper, your priority is not always pushing cart. You know, if cart's on kind of unfamiliar territory to you. What's this odd thing in the center of the map? What's the center of the map? I'm not supposed to be here. So a little confusing to have the assassin be in a position to push like that. But yeah, you're right. They did have the one window, and after that, it was just complete pushback and domination.
Yep, and again, we don't have a proper time to beat, but all Melty has to do, should they wish to win the first half, is simply bring the cart all the way to the first checkpoint, and they will win map 1 in the grand finals of the GosuGamers EU Cup. And just as a side note, for those who are tuning in and interested in some NA play, the registration for the NA Cup starting tomorrow is now open, so please go to GosuGamers.com and sign your team up should you be roaring to get in some NA competition.
It's going to be casted, of course, by the great ZP.
And the one and only Hexagrams. So the 2 people you're hearing as we speak.
I'm looking forward to it, man. Like, this has been such a great day of EU play. That NA play is going to... Oh, man. Just what a weekend for Overwatch.
It has been a good weekend, and it's only going to get better with time. So teams have been swapped. It is now going to be Melty on the attack, and it's going to be Eccentric on the defense. And looking at Eccentric as they rush out of the gates here, they're going to be running Nadir on Pharah, Nevix on Mercy, Acetari on the McCree that he's gotten so much value out of in this tournament, Likely on Lucio, Lude on D.Va, and Skipjack on Reinhardt.
So we don't see the Symmetra coming out for them, which is an interesting play. It is kind of a long walk, so I think they're just hoping to bank more on the sustainability of these heroes. The only super... I mean, they do have the squishies in Acetari and Nadir, but Nevix and Lucio, or Nevix and Likely on Mercy and Lucio should be able to put out enough healing. Now, the offense might not be set in stone, but right now we've got Bod on Mercy. I believe that will be an actual play. Dagon is going to play Pharah. I think that one's going to stick. Moon L on Junkrat would be the first time we saw Junkrat today. Nico's on Tracer, Cry on Zarya, and Lucio is going to be played by Cabal. So there goes the Junkrat. It's a Reinhardt.
Oh, I was going to say, let's look at Nico on Tracer, because I'm excited to see that. He just gets taken out right away, so you know what? Scratch that. We're going to check out Acetari on the defensive McCree and see what he does here. Will he deal with the Pharah that's coming in hot pursuit? But no, there's actually a Pharah.
Yeah, Bod takes an air shot out of the sky. This battle over here is getting a little dicey as they're over the edge. Is this Mercy going to be able to hold on? She does!
Wow, and again, the aerial fight, such a big part. In the meantime, we have McCree, just landing shots on the defense, but I'll tell you what, the payload is moving, and Melty is getting a lot of payload push here, and what we're seeing here is that Eccentric is getting pushed back. They might have to just defend the courtyard, but they don't have that teleporter, unlike Melty on the last round.
Yeah, and all their damage was done at the same time. McCree and Farah were both down, as well was D.Va, so they almost had nothing to defend with.
Yep, and I'm taking a look at D-Gun right now. D-Gun power boosted Farah. Such a threat, so much damage being put down. And right now, Nevic's getting taken out really early. That is very, very bad for Eccentric because they're not going to have that res available. D.Va explosion is going to go down to create even more space. Right now, D-Gun a little bit far in the back, but I got to tell you, the payload is still pushing. They're making excellent time. If they get to the payload here, they will win. And there's 3 people down on the Eccentric side, and I think this is game.
Both supports the Mercy down again. She was not in position in time to res, and that is game. Wow.
Wow, and this is, I feel like this is deja vu to some extent, because this feels exactly like the Melty Fnatic series on Dorado, where, Melty had a good defense, and then they followed up with an extremely impressive attack. Melty showing they came to play today.
Well, Melty did pick this map, so Melty's clearly has something going on with El Dorado. And I guess you could say that about every map, but their performances on Dorado have been absolutely dominant.
Absolutely, and that was just some very, very impressive play. So, we are now, that is Melty going up with the first strike, 1-0. I believe the finals are best of 5. I'm not entirely sure, but if it is, it's still 1 game that they need. 2 more to go for Melty, should they wish to take the first weekly EU GosuGamers Cup tournament.
I gotta get that cash money, man. $120 goes to our winning team. Split it up 6 ways, or whatever, however they want to do it. Be $20 a person.
I mean, $20 a person, that is, that's Chipotle. That's like 2 runs of Chipotle. That's value.
Right, that's like 20 Hearthstone packs.
That is Hearthstone packs. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can run that, and perhaps someday it'll be Overwatch skins. Who knows? So right now we are waiting for the teams to make a new lobby. We will be in there. We will have the map inside information for you shortly, but Melty up 1-0 thus far in the series. And for those who might be hankering getting in on some action yourself, bear in mind that registrations for the GosuGamers NA Cup are open. Bring your team, bring your best players, and compete for glory and a cash prize tomorrow. And that will be casted around, I think, 3 p.m. Eastern by myself and Hexagrams.
Yeah, I'll be around. I was a little worried. I'm like, God, that's a lot of Overwatch. You did the podcast this morning, doing this afternoon, doing tomorrow, and I was like, man, you might get a little burned out. But even though I'll probably see Overwatch in my dreams the moment I close my eyes tonight, it's definitely worth it. Super fun. And I think the next map is going to be King's Row.
It's looking like it is going to be King's Row. So right now, Eccentric is saying they want King's Row and they want attack. So we did see earlier, they did have a very impressive King's Row play earlier. I mean, remember their defense in the corridor, and it was impressive.
Yep, and just to clear up, it is best of 3. So if Melty is able to win this map, they are champions for the week.
Yep, so actually it looks like it's going to be Eccentric attacking again. Melty actually preferred to defend on the first round, so a little bit of a difference in tactics from the teams there.
Yep, but
usually a lot of teams prefer to attack, but Melty is perfectly content with defending first.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams pick the defense first, actually. Let them set the clock. What do we have to beat? So if you have to beat a very quick time, or, it allows you to really change your strategy knowing what the opponent's time is.
Yep. So, as we can see, we are getting in on King's Row at the moment, and is going to be Eccentric on the attack. They are down 1 map. They're hoping to even things up on King's Row, and Melty is going to be on the defense.
Yeah, Melty, of course, has not dropped a map this entire game, or this entire tournament, rather, for this week. And they hope to go completely undefeated and pick up the prize money.
Yep, and I mean, not only that, they are not a sponsored team, and you know how quickly things like sponsorships and whatnot can evolve. I'm sure even as we speak, potential sponsors for Overwatch are looking at this and going, you know what? That Melty team might be worth picking up.
They're pretty decent. Most of the teams we've seen today have put together pretty good showings. I mean, even Eccentric, a team that no one, not many people may have heard of before, going through to the finals in pretty dominant fashion. So, yeah, it's the exposure alone should be good for these teams. Do you want to run us through this defense? Yep. Do you think this defense is going to be
This defense, I mean, it's more par of the course for Melty. We have Moon L on Reinhardt, Bod on that Symmetra that has been so effective today, D-Gun on Pharah, Nico on Reaper, Cabal on Mercy, and Cry on Zarya.
Yeah, a lot of Zarya action today. I've been really impressed with the Symmetra play. Again, they've just run a clinic on how to play Symmetra. Get your chip damage, get your teleporter up. Without your teleporter, you're kind of useless, but you have to stay alive to be able to charge up those ultimates. On offense, it looks like Eccentric is going to start on McCree, just changed from Diva. Nadir is going to play Reaper, Nevix on Mercy, Skipjack is going to play Reinhardt, likely on Lucio, and Lude on Diva. Standard roster across the board.
Yep. And what we're seeing now, that is the starting point. Both teams are out, and I am interested in Nico. Nico, really just kind of bullying teams as Reaper on this point here. I'm curious to see, is he going to be able to do it again? We have Moon L with the quick charge on his Reinhardt, willing to make a distraction. While he makes that distraction, Nico in the back immediately picks Mercy, picks the Diva, and that was so well coordinated on the part of Melty, and this is going to be a full 6-man wipe to start out. What a statement.
Yeah, Nico just running wild on this map. Again, if you missed earlier matches, watch our very first broadcast game. Nico puts on a clinic as Reaper on King's Row.
And we're going to take a look at Ace Atari as Eccentric tries to regroup here, but, that was just so well coordinated between the Reinhardt and the Reaper. And Eccentric is going to have to work coming out of them coming through this first gate.
Reaper again drops from above. He's going for that Mercy pick.
He's not able to get the Mercy pick, though, and also the defending Reinhardt is going to go down. However, Reaper does go down for the attack, but Eccentric, not to be destroyed, is going in. They get 4 people down in all of that. Really, really nice play all around. Lots of damage coming from the the Reaper and the McCree, and they're just rolling into this first point.
Nearly a full wipe, and there was not a teleporter up, so that is going to be their point uncontested.
So Melty, which looked almost unstoppable on defense the last few maps, taking a solid blow to the jaw there as Eccentric is saying, you know what, we're in the grand finals, and we are coming to play.
Yeah, I mean, what they really did effectively was deny that teleporter. The reinforcements weren't there. It's a long walk to that point, and they got a huge wipe, stacked the point, and now they're going to try to roll through on this card.
Yep, but take a look at Nico here. Nico is getting set up. He almost has his Death Blossom. He is trying some shots at the Diva. Diva, not actually the greatest thing for Reaper, but he does have his ultimate. He's going to teleport back up, but is it going to be safe? The Diva? No, the Diva's going to run away. Oh, and he gets the Mercy pick. Mercy, wrong place, wrong time. Death Blossom about to come down from Nico. Is he going to do it? He does take out the Lucio, and no, he doesn't even Death Blossom, and he
doesn't have to. Saying, Aerial Barrage comes up. That Mercy was just a gift. She was just happened to beam right up in front of him. Thank you very much. Here's a shotgun to the face. Thanks for playing.
Yep, and we have a Mercy res coming down from Nevix, but guess what? Death Blossom is still there. We're going to see the fruits of, just Nico's self-control there because he still has his ult, and he wants to get in here. We do have a Zarya ult coming
down. We'll see if he comes in after it.
Yep, he does has a Death Blossom, but Lucio ult really negating most of that damage, and 4 people from Team Melty actually getting taken out here, and what a great counter push by Eccentric, and they are just rolling through this point.
Yeah, the Diva ult there was great. The Death Blossom came down, and he wanted to get damaged, but he was also kind of tentative because the ult was going down, and he ended up dying to that ult. However, the spawns do put our blue team behind the cart.
Yeah, that Symmetra Teleport doing such work. Ace Atari wanting to make it high noon is taken out, and here comes Melty with the mega defensive flank. You don't see this all that often, and right now, I don't think they were really expecting this. Multiple people from Eccentric going down, but they are turning into a brawl. Big Res is going to go down, and Melty kind of reestablishing the defense. They're going to try and hold in this point, X.
Well, the important thing is that the card is through that very choky S-bend in the road, right? Because, I mean, unless it starts going backwards, we've seen teams been absolutely defeated by this choke point, which isn't necessarily looks like a choke point, but it absolutely has crushed teams' abilities to flank.
We're going to watch Nadir here. Nadir not having enough with ult, but he's going to teleport directly into the Maw of Pharah. He's going to have to Wraith form out. And Melty setting up a very imposing defense here. See how Nadir tries to get through this as he leads Eccentric to the payload. Getting some shots off. But he does have to be careful.
Yeah, the Pharah Mercy combo was above and behind the enemy team. Now they're getting back into a more standard defensive position.
Yeah, we see D-Gun here on the rooftop shooting rockets. Does have the Reaper in his sights. He's going to try to take him out. Reaper going to go for the Wraith form. Lude throwing down pressure on top of the Pharah. And Pharah just going to kind of back up a little bit, get behind his Reinhardt. You don't have to push it. But a big Reinhardt ult coming out from Skipjack. Multiple people are going to get taken out. Zarya ult grouping 3 people of Eccentric together, but there is no punish from Team Melty.
No, and the res does come up and brings heroes back. However, Melty is down 4 players, no res up. And now we're gonna see some good push by Eccentric.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Eccentric, but D-Gun with the flank, Aerial Barrage taking out multiple people on the attacking side. Skipjack and Nevix are down, there will be no res. Ace Tari going down, and a very coordinated defensive counter-strike coming out from Team Melty here, and I thought the payload was going to go straight to the point, but Melty showing, hey, we have more tricks in our bag.
Now we'll see, it's kind of a reset here as most of Eccentric is dead. They're all coming up as a group now. The only ult up is Reinhardt's. Now, that's not to say that it's not a super impactful ult, but you might want to combo it with something else, so we might see kind of some stalled, chipped out play here for a bit.
Yeah, and right now you see them... You see Melty just reestablishing their defense. D-Gun, doing that range poke that Pharah is so good for, and... We have a Reinhardt ult, though, coming down from Skipjack. Skipjack wanting to push the issue, wanting to push Melty a bit back here. High Noon is up from his start, but he is killed before getting value off it. D-Vault gonna go down, try and space out Melty a bit, but Melty looking pretty good position here. One down on Eccentric, and we have this battle Symmetra taking out one person. Is she gonna get double kill? Zarya ult is gonna go down. Eccentric is grouped up. Oh, Reinhardt just finishing that off.
It is a little surprising to see Bod still on Symmetra right now. The teleporter isn't going to be that valuable, although the sentries are still up and she can provide the shield. So it's a soft second support rather than going full second support. It might be a character we see switched off though if the cart gets any further.
Yeah, and the Symmetra, I mean, it was interesting because the Bell Symmetra, she wasn't getting attacked and she does a lot of damage if she can actually get in there. I mean, it's not to be underestimated.
Oh yeah, and it's absolutely, the lock-on ability is brutal too. You can't even run away from it.
Yep, and right now we see Team Eccentric regrouping. They want to push this, they want to get the extra time. D-Gun, firing those counter shots, and we see flanking McCree. Nico coming in. Is it going to be High Noon? No, he does not have High Noon, but D-Gun with the Aerial Barrage is able to take out 3 people of Eccentric, and really nice coordinated flank from Melty there that really just sort of put that in their favor.
Yeah, Nadir's Death Blossom went down, didn't do a great deal, and man, what's the answer if you're Eccentric? Do you switch up your composition? Do you just group better? Are you waiting for ults? What do you do here?
I almost go full Pumbo farm them. Like, they're running D.Va and Reinhardt. I mean, maybe it's time to try Winston. It is hard because they're not running, McCree is good against tanks, but he's not quite as good as Reaper. Maybe it's time to bust out the Monkey. I don't know. I mean, they gotta do something to switch this up because what they're doing is not working. And meanwhile, we see Lude rushing the point with the D.Va barrier, is gonna have to back out a little bit. And, I think more than anything, I'd like to see Eccentric try and do multiple angles here, because they're all kind of funneling through, and they're getting flanked like crazy, Hex.
Yeah, they're not able to hold a flank wall. They just seem like they never have the numbers and the right spaces to fight.
And we're seeing Moon actually flank with the Reinhardt. A big Zarya ult is going to go down, and they are just all caught there. All 4 people going down for Eccentric. What a well-executed flank set up by the Zarya, and... wow, that Reinhardt ult just doing, or Reinhardt hammer just doing so much damage.
Right. Both teams do have res available, but if you're Melty, you feel like you're in a great position right now.
Yeah, I mean, Melty has to be feeling good here. I mean, as is, it's actually seeming unlikely that they're going to get to the next point, but don't count them out just yet. The last gasp is on the way, but Nadir just got taken out. I don't know what killed him. I think it might have been McCree. And we have both teams going in right now. Ult is going down, is going to kill Reinhardt, but that is a defensive Reinhardt down. Rez is up. High Noon goes down for Ace Tari. He's going to kill 2 people. Rez is up for Melty, however. D-Gun with the aerial barrage, cleaning out the air around the payload, and this is looking like a very clean cleanup. But no, Rez is going to go down for Eccentric. They need to stay on the point. Hex, I don't even know, man.
They are all over the card. I think they're just going to end up trying to trickle in, keep putting time, keep going into overtime. I don't think it's going to be enough, though.
No, that Mercy's got to get out. I mean, she was trying to put her body on the cart because she was the last one standing, but, Mercy not going to live. And Melty, they didn't hold at point A, so Eccentric did fire some shots there, but Melty, in the end, going to hold before the final stretch.
It was one of the better games we've seen a team play against Melty, so they are kind of on the same level with them. I don't know. We'll see. Melty still seems really dominant today.
Yep, and what we're going to see here is that for the next map, timer-wise, should Melty be able to get to that last checkpoint, they will win the map, and they will be up 2 maps to 0 over Eccentric in the GosuGamers EU Weekly Grand Finals.
The Symmetra play was just outstanding. We've seen Symmetra, when the numbers came out for the beta numbers about win rates, Symmetra was at the top of that list, and I kind of scoffed at it. I'm like, how is Symmetra at the top of the win rate list for this beta? You know, she's, I mean, I guess new players just running into turrets. What is happening here? But apparently, I was dead wrong. Symmetra's super strong.
Yep, and Symmetra, I mean, Melty has been making the absolute maximum use of her abilities in these games. The teleporter really just helping them to deny easy pushes from their opponents.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, even the teleport, like the turrets are providing vision on flanks where people are, doing a little bit of damage, and then if they end up a little out of position, she's there with her ray gun to punish it.
Yep, and I mean, the turrets also deny safe rooms. I mean, times where people run Genjis or Tracers, you know, you kind of want to flank in and then go to a place that's safe, and you go to a room that has Symmetra turrets, it's a bad time.
Right. Also, it drains ammo from a Pharah that has to use rockets on the turrets, and overall, they're just a nuisance.
Yep.
Do we have a timer on that first point? What if they kept the first point super quick? Do they just win?
Do they just win? I don't think that's really set for first point caps. And that's one of the things where we're doing stopwatch, but you know, some of the details aren't super clear.
It's improvised stopwatch. We're improvising.
It is improvised. It might be if they get the payload further. I guess we'll see.
Okay, so we saw this before, and they totally juked me on it because I was talking about this. I think it's a fine strategy on offense on this point to run 2 Widowmakers up top and look for the picks and try to switch off immediately. Now, I thought they were going to do it before. I got totally juked, and they didn't do it. I hope to at least see 1 Widowmaker on offense, try to get a pick, then switch to a different class. I think it's a fine strat, but what do I know?
It's not bad. And for the defense, for Eccentric, which is now defending, we have Ace Tari on McCree, Nevix on Mercy, Nadir on Reaper, Skipjack on Reinhardt, likely on Lucio, and Lude on Diva.
Par for the course. Bot is going to be running Mercy, Moonel on Reinhardt, Pharah's going to be D-Gun, Cry is on Winston, Cabal is Lucio, and Nico is actually running a Tracer. So no Widowmakers, my dreams are shattered.
We're going to keep an eye on D-Gun here. D-Gun, pretty much fair in all these games, raining down a lot of pressure and wasting no time getting rockets that are splashing on 3 people to start with. And we see him just going in. He's going to use that, you know, boost maneuver, really high-end stuff, and he is flanking the backline. He has the Mercy in his sights, and should he get the Mercy down? He does get the Mercy down. That's 3 people down for Eccentric right now. Melty looking very strong. 3
people down, no res. The combo is still doing work with almost no one there to defend it. It's a Lucio and a Diva trying to deal with this combo, and that's not going to be a good time. Even Nico's coming in on Tracer to add some even more damage, and wow, this might be a very fast first point.
Yeah, and let's take a look at Nico, see how he goes through the last point. He actually has Pulse Bomb charged up, so, you know, will he combo it? Will he just go for a solo pick? We're about to find out because Melty taking the first point in commanding fashion.
Adir's hanging up top as a Reaper. He might be waiting for them to push through the point and try to get something huge done. He is going behind. He's alone on the cart with the Reinhardt. Reaper versus Reinhardt. Reaper should win most of the time.
Yep, and by the way, we just saw a phenomenal arrow barrage coming down from D-Gun. D-Gun able to take out 2 people. Pulse Bomb not quite a Tracer wanted, getting stuck on the shield. But this is a lot of space created for Melty, and this payload is going to be moving.
Yeah, the only thing stopping the payload right now was the Reaper in the back line being super, super annoying.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good play by the Reaper. The Reaper really did delay, and, you know, he's giving it Eccentric a little bit extra time to group up here, but Melty definitely looking to be more in command on this game thus far.
D-Gun's Pharah has been almost uncounterable. He's been doing so much damage all through the game, and I rarely see him even die on Pharah.
Yep, and right now we see Ace Tari as the McCree, gonna try and, you know, shoot the Pharah out of the skies, a little bit poke on the Mercy. And Eccentric really needs to make a stronghold here because, I tell you, Melty is working with a lot of time.
Yeah, they are showing no signs of slowing down anyway, and they've got all the time in the world. Double Lucio lets go down on each side.
Yeah, not only is Lucio going down, but Winston is not having any McCree stuff. He's knocking McCree way far away from the battle. Nadir, with the defensive Death Blossom, not quite able to get the value that he was looking for. And a Mercy ult coming down for Eccentric, and I tell you, right now, Melty is still pushing in. 4 people down on Eccentric, and this could be map 2 in favor of Melty. They are just rolling right now, Hex. They keep going. Is this going to be the point? They are going forward. Are they going to get it? And no one in sight. Melty rolling, and that is it. That is GG. Now Melty's up 2-0. And what I believe is a best-of-5 series. Melty looking very dominant these first 2 maps, X.
Best of 3. I think it's best of 3.
Is it best of 3?
Yeah, I think so.
If it's best of 3, then that is it. Then that is the finals. It is best of 3. Melty, the GosuGamers Weekly EU Cup champions for week 1.
They're going to take home $120, and more importantly, the coveted, title of Week 1 champion. So they're going to be back defending their title next week, hopefully when they sign up. If you have a team and you want to play against Melty, I don't know why you'd put yourself through it based on what we saw today. Feel free to register. Tomorrow is our our registration for NA is open right now. Tomorrow we'll be broadcasting similar format, different teams, and we're going to do more Overwatch all afternoon tomorrow.
Yep, and it's going to be exciting.